asking the general public, if you have any information into this latest shooting, latest homicide, please contact our police officers at our stations, at CID, to provide that information to assist us in our investigation. One homicide is one too many. What I'd also like to say is to these males, particularly, find a means to resolve your conflict.
Meantime, a 66-year-old man is dead following a traffic accident on Saturday. Police say emergency crews responded to a two-car collision near the busy intersection of East Street and Robinson Road. The deceased was taken to hospital via ambulance and died a short time later. However, investigators noted the man showed no visible signs of physical injuries. An autopsy has been ordered to determine the exact cause of death. Police are continuing to investigating the circumstances around the incident. They're urging anyone with any information to come forward. We now turn our attention to Abaco, where a disturbing act of vandalism unfolded. Officials with the Disaster Risk Management Authority have confirmed that the Abaco Shelton Community Center, a critical hurricane shelter that is still under construction, was targeted on Saturday. Authorities say that someone broke into the site, spray painting several interior walls and doors, scattering insults throughout the building, and even attempt to set it on fire. Now, the Royal Bahamas Police Force have launched a full investigation, and additional security measures have been already put in place at the site. While officials say the vandalism will not significantly delay the shelter's completion, it has sparked outrage, especially given the facility role in Abaco recovery from Hurricane Dorian. The Director of Social Service, Charlamagne Fernanda, addressing the growing concern over child abuse and sexual abuse cases in our country, following the Minister of Social Services, Miles LaRoto, revelation about the alarming increase in children being sexually exploited during his budget contribution. While penalties for these offenses are already strict, Fernandez suggests that there may be room for even tougher consequences to better protect our most vulnerable.
I'd like to start by saying that the Child Protection Act and the Sexual Offences Act, those two acts as they stand right now, provide some pretty stiff penalties, and they are very detailed and explicit in terms of what constitutes abuse and what the penalties are. Now, having said that, all parties involved in the system of apprehending or investigating and apprehending these persons and bringing them to justice, have these acts that they could adhere to and make sure that the stiffest of penalties are applied where necessary. But even so, in regards to the length of time when persons must be served or the stiffness of the penalties, there's always room for improvement. And so I think that is something we need to revisit in this regard to see if some penalties can be strengthened.
Fernanda highlights the impact of transparency and public awareness in the overall handling of these cases.
I think the public will notice that the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting and the Department of Social Services are really stepping up their game in terms of sharing information. We're going out and doing town meetings, we're doing radio and television interviews and talk shows, etc., to spread the word about what is available to persons, about the incidence of these kinds of social problems and what is available to persons to address them. And we will continue to do that because based on the responses that we are receiving, it seems to be reaching the Bahamian public. In addition to those initiatives in terms of broadcasting and the media, we are also physically going out and addressing children where they are, addressing communities at town meetings. We're traveling in the family islands all over the Bahamas. We have a website that we are developing and placing information on. However, information is disseminated in this community and across the world now. We're trying to make frequent use of those avenues to get the word out.
Opposition leader Michael Pintard renewing calls for greater transparency surrounding the Immigration Department. This as he spoke to reporters outside of the lower chambers recently, calling for authorities to investigate the legitimacy on how work visas and other documents are issued.
We need a select committee on immigration to examine work permits that are being given out permanent residencies and citizenship to make sure that everything is being done above board. If your population is alarmed by something they perceive, that they think they detect, they may or may not be correct. But as leaders, we then ought to step up and allay, that is, help calm their fears. The government refuses to speak to the amount of planes, not just persons who cross illegally across the border, but persons who come in legitimately on a plane. The numbers coming in seem to be larger than the numbers going out. We get that same impression when we've met with some of the officials or employees at Bahamas Air who are involved with some of those flights. And so the government has to be able to speak candidly to the public about the steps that they are taking. The PLP uses immigration for political benefit. That is a view that we have, and we've seen it when Keith Bell was in the chair. And we know this business of immigration consultants that thrive, while it may exist under both administration, it thrives under the Progressive Liberal Party. It cannot be right that somebody could get multiple work permits before they even have the workers. I mean, it reeks of corruption.
Long gone are the days of needing cash to cross the Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge. The Minister of Works, Clay Sweeting, who also have oversight of the Bridge Authority, announced in Parliament that commuters can now use their debit or credit cards to pay their tolls. He says this is marking a new era in convenience and modernization.
Mr. Deputy, the Bridge Authority is actively advancing its mission to strengthen national infrastructure and improve the movement of people and goods, whether by car, by foot, or by commerce. To enhance efficiency, the authority has undertaken significant IT infrastructure upgrades. Toll lanes are being modernized with improved systems and digital devices, including the introduction of debit and credit card payment options at the booths. The authority has also upgraded its data center services and switches, and implemented cybersecurity and disaster recovery protocols, ensuring 21st century operational standards are upheld in keeping with our focus on innovation.
In the meantime, the minister pointed to the authorities prioritizing investment in personal leadership and organizational transparency for this upcoming fiscal year.
The authority is investing in its people with a suite of human resource programs, a new finance and operations policy manual, a career path guide, internal newsletter, staff recognition efforts, a summer student employment program, and active negotiations for a new industrial agreement. These efforts are ensuring that the workforce is motivated, trained, and prepared for the future. And finally, the authority has completed financial audits for 2018 to 2020, with work now underway on audits for 21 to 2023, another step in transparency and accountability.
The cost of the replacement of the glass window bridge may be high, but not unexpected. Those are the words from the president of the Bahamas Contractors Association, Leonard Sands. The project is set to replace the aging single-lane bridge that links North and South Eleuthera, has sparked public debate after the government revealed a projected cost about $86 million. Sands says while the price tag may seem steep, modern infrastructure projects, especially on remote islands, can come with complex challenges and growing costs.
With respect to the proposed construction of the glass window bridge, the minister has provided a breakdown of costs. I think one of the things that's interesting about it is that it's not only the bridge, it's bridge refurbishment or addition to the existing dock at Gregory Town that adds into this cost. I guess some additional necessary things that are required in order to facilitate the construction of the bridge. The bridge costs alone are $25 million. Seems partially reasonable given the increase in construction costs and the deliverable time would probably have to be considered. So with those elements being considered, the whole total value, while more than anyone would hope to expend, if it is a necessary spend.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority is sharing good news on the heels of the recent business forum hosted in New York City by the Bahamas Ambassador to Washington, D.C., His Excellency Wendell Jones. The two-day second annual Bahamas Business Investment Forum sought to provide potential investors with all of the information they need concerning investment opportunities in the Bahamas. To this end, Charles Pratt, Senior Manager of Sales and Commercial Development in the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the Grand Bahama Development Company, says the authority was well represented and did its best to share with investors the economic rebound of the island and why it's set as it reaps opportunities to invest now.
I think it was informative to those who attended. We spoke about specifically the Grand Bahama, what all was happening, the $3 billion worth of investment happening now between the Carnival Cruise Port, which is scheduled to open in 6 weeks, approximately, the Weller development that is happening in the Discovery Bay area. Spoke about the shipyard and their reinvestment in the economy, providing the two of the largest dry dock in the world. That's about $500 million. We spoke about the redevelopment of the Freeport Harbor, which is another couple $100 million. And so this Grand Bahama is recognizing its full potential as it relates to attracting investment. And we have seen investor confidence spike in Grand Bahama in recent years. And so we always like to say the economic pendulum is on the uptick. And so we encourage foreign direct investment, but more importantly, we encourage Bahamians, you and me, to take advantage of the opportunity that is now to invest in our economy, invest in our own, and be a part of the growth of Grand Bahama, Freeport, and by extension, the Bahamas.
Meanwhile, the Grand Bahama Port Authority telling Eyewitness News that it remains optimistic about the future of Grand Bahama Island as the economy remains on a steady upswing. With a number of projects currently underway on the island and government recently signing of the heads of agreement for the sale of the Grand Lucayo Resort, Arthur O'Sealy had a quick chat with the GBPA for its assessment of where the island is as in terms of economic rebound back and how the wider public can become a part of the effort. Here's that report.
Grand Bahama Island continues to boast of some $3 billion worth of investments in the pipeline, and some might argue that mega developments like the Weller development and government's recent signing of a heads of agreement for the sale of the Grand Lucayo Resort are all evidence of that. While there are critics who may never hop on board the positivity train, Derek Newbold of the Grand Bahama Port Authority is of the belief that those who do believe in the economic bounce back of the island need to invest in its burgeoning tourism industry.
There's a need for more product development, shore excursions, tour operations, recreational experiences, entertainment, food and beverage offerings, more transportation, more diverse retail. And of course, this is all driving and fueling a demand for more housing. So we're excited about what's happening. And we believe that certainly our better days are ahead of us, not behind us.
With a clarion call for Bahamians to invest in new business ventures on island, Newbold is also calling on government to assist in the process.
But what we'd love to see is more funding become accessible to small businesses. That's the key. A lot of small businesses and entrepreneurs struggle with access to funding. And so if the government can support them in some way by making access to funding more accessible, that would be great.
Now, we've done a number of stories on the Grand Bahama Development Company and its thrust to get Grand Bahamians and Bahamians at large interested in stepping into the housing market on island, as Grand Bahama grapples with a housing crisis. So, have its principals seen a shift in overall interest lately?
I think we're seeing an uptick in interest in land. I know DevCo has been pretty busy, comparatively speaking, to other periods over the years. But I still think that there's some ways to go in getting the message out. We want Bahamians to own a piece of land in Freeport. And this is all Bahamians, not just here in Grand Bahama. I think DevCo offers very competitive land prices. You can get land starting at $28,000, a third of an acre, or a half acre on the waterfront on the canal for about $65,000. These are great land prices, So we're hoping that the momentum continues to build. And more persons will take advantage of some land pricing here that we have to offer that's competitive.
And as for its recent Freeport Business Expo,
we really wanted to make sure that we were making it easy for Grand Bahamians to consider getting into business. I think the expo has been a tremendous success. We are continuing to see a number of businesses stemming from that effort. Right. And I think next year it's going to be even better.
With billions of dollars worth of investments said to be in the pipeline, Countless business opportunities available for residents to take advantage of, a housing market that's begging for locals to invest and build, and an air of resilience. Newbold firmly believes that the tide is changing for Grand Bahama.
I think the psyche is changing locally. It's a very tall hill to climb. It's a very difficult process, changing the mindset based on what we've gone through. You know, we've had the economy at the point where it was poised for a lot of growth, and then we'd get knocked back a few steps as a result of some natural disaster, a hurricane, COVID. But I always felt that if we had a consistent period where we weren't experiencing any natural disasters or anything along the lines of a COVID shutdown, Grand Bahama would be fine. And that's what we're seeing now. You know, from back in 2022, we were sort of touting this message that, hey, listen, based on the work we've been doing, based on the momentum that's on the ground that we're seeing, prepare yourselves because it's coming. And now it's here.
Reporting from Grand Bahama Island, I'm Theo Seeley.
17 graduates spanning across various law enforcement agencies completed the rigorous Bahamas Unmanned Safety course, making them drone pilots, which will boost efforts across the armed forces to protect the country's borders. Royal Bahamas Defense Force Deputy Commander Carlton Bethel detailing the ins and outs of the program, and now that this cohort is completed, what will daily operation look like?
Today was the official commissioning of the Bahamas National Unmanned Systems Academy. Whilst we've been operating for a couple of years now, the Academy has never been officially commissioned. So today is a real milestone achievement for the Academy and its commissioning. The persons that you would have seen today would have been the graduates of our 7th multi-agency cohort, and multi-agency would include the Defense Force, the Police Force, the Customs, Immigration, as well as the Bahamas Department of Corrections. And that's the agencies that actually make up the Ministry of National Security Unmanned Systems Program. Right, so a day-to-day operation or training battle rhythm would look like theoretical classes where they go through the basics in drone and fly-in dynamics. The course is a 7-week course. It could extend depending on the weather because everybody still has to do their practicals, like with a pilot, to get the checkoffs. And once they've done that, then they'll be the esteemed pilot that they are today, graduating.
But why are these certification courses important to Bahamian Marines? Bethel explains it adds to the capacity becoming the eagle eyes of the RBDF.
So, as you know, the Defense Forces and maritime operations is our number one. Well, it takes up most of our times. It's one of our number one mandates to protect the territorial integrity of the country. What drones do for us is provide us with a component that we call ISR, Intelligence, Surveillance, and Reconnaissance. If you can consider, if a boat is out to sea, it picks up a contact on the radar. It wants to see what that contact is without actually exposing its position. It can send a drone out. The drone can actually identify the contact, still be stealthy enough not for them not to be seen, and then bring back confirmation on something that you may want to investigate or just leave alone because it's not something you need to bother with.
If you've got a news tip, if you see news in the making, call the Ion News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editors for publication on all of our social media platforms at eyewitnessnewsbahamas@gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about tonight's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. And still to come tonight, we're highlighting a group of graduates who will receive an inspiring speech out of this world. And later, it's Father's Day, and we're celebrating our dads. We've got more, but first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is, by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
In 2010, a grant helped Bahamas striping group of companies get started. Today, that seed has grown into a national force, building roads, airports, and brighter futures. Now, we're leading the way through public-private partnerships, what we call 3Ps, where government vision meets private sector innovation. 3Ps empowers local subcontractors, giving them the chance to bid. And with every contract, we're putting money directly into communities, creating jobs, supporting families, and fueling growth. From roads in Eleuthera to community centers in the inner city, we're not just laying asphalt, we're laying foundations for financial opportunity. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we believe in building more than infrastructure. We're building up Bahamians who build the Bahamas. 3Ps, public-private partnerships for people, progress, and prosperity.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madeira Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back to the weekend edition. A new online contest is giving Bahamians a creative way to share their international travel experience, especially when it comes to visiting one of the world's oldest civilizations. Dr. Donovan Moxey, the president of the Bahamas-China Friendship Association, announcing a digital competition inviting participants to reflect on the sights, sounds, and personal stories that comes with a trip to China.
We at the Bahamas-China Friendship Association are pleased to announce our video logging competition that's open to all Bahamians who travel to China between June 15th and November 15th of this year. This particular competition is meant to really expand the bonds of friendship and cultural ties and understanding between Bahamians and Chinese. So what we're looking for is for those Bahamians who go to China, you capture video of your experiences in China, be they cultural, be they technology, be they learning, and then talk about those experiences through the eyes of you as a Bahamian in a way that Bahamians who have not had an opportunity to go to China really understand exactly what it means to go to China and what you're seeing through the lens of your eyes. This particular competition, again, is open to two groups of individuals: high school students between the ages of 14 and 18, and adults who travel to China either on vacation or business or as part of missions.
Moxey sharing that the competition is focused on sharing international insight and stating the prize awaits for the competitors with the best content on their, for the BFA242.org page.
The contest basically has prizes for the first three top videos, and the prizes range from $800 to $300. So there's a single $800 ground prize, and then there's a third prize of $300, which we give to 6 persons, and a second prize of $500, which we give to 3 winners in the contest. And so again, we look forward to your participation, especially those persons who either live in China or plan to travel to China this year, because we really want people to understand Bahamians' experiences through the lens of our eyes.
31 students walked across the stage at the St. Andrews International School as family, friends, teachers, and faculties of the institute cheered them on while the graduates received their high school diplomas on Friday afternoon. Delivering a keynote speech to the graduating class of 2025 was Bahamian astronaut and aerospace engineer Aisha Bowe, who sent this powerful message to the graduates.
To the class of 2025, I want to tell you that the future It is shaped by those who choose to stand out. And trust me, the world, it doesn't need another copy. It needs you, fully, boldly, and authentically you. And that's just not a quote to decorate a classroom with like a hanging cat or something. It's a truth that I've lived. You see, I did not grow up dreaming of becoming a rocket scientist. That dream, it never even occurred to me because I did not see people like me doing that. I didn't know that that was even a career option.
The University of the Bahamas is looking to increase its enrollment of students for the fall of 2025 and beyond. This as the geopolitical shift and radical policy changes are deeply impacting academia abroad, especially in the United States. This is an appeal for current and inspiring students to choose UB for tertiary education as the institution stands on 51 years of legacy. Academic Vice President of the Enrollment Management and Athletics, Dr. Marcella Elliott Ferguson, shares that the university has extended its deadlines for applications to June 30th to accommodate additional students.
Well, we feel here that there are many things that can draw you to the University of the Bahamas. Of course, one that many people consider is the fact that you can have an education, a quality education at an affordable cost. And affordable for us with the Bahamas Tertiary Grant and other private donors means almost nothing. So in many cases, students might pay only $100 per semester because all of the other items are taken care of. Of course, that applies to those who are eligible for those awards. And so that's one of the things that's very attractive. The other thing that's attractive as well is that we're home. This is our community. We want to encourage our young persons to be a part of the development of the nation. And so you will have a diverse opportunity to work with persons from within the Bahamas, many different islands, persons from outside of the Bahamas. And I know sometimes students want to have that out of the Bahamas experience. Well, we've got it. We've got the Study Abroad program where you can be enrolled at UB and still go abroad and study and then return home to us.
A university education can be quite costly abroad, but with the government's tertiary education grant and growing number of private awards that covers tuition and other educational expenses, studying at UB is affordable. Plus, students can have global experience through the study abroad and student exchange programs with a number of universities in North America, Asia, and Europe. Dr. Elliott Ferguson explains.
We want all of our persons across the archipelago to know that you still can apply to become a student at the University of the Bahamas. And that application process is online. So wherever you are in the Bahamas, please feel free to go online and apply. We will provide the additional information to help you with that process. We also want to let you know that whatever age you are, we will embrace you, we will ensure that you are well taken care of, and we will ensure that you become successful and become a part of our UB community.
UB has a student enrollment of over 4,000 students, but is expected to grow that number moving forward. This as commencement season has just over 600 students graduated with various academic diplomas, degrees, certification, and adding to the alumni base of over 23,000. A cultural resurrection through music and memory. Patrick Ramming, the latest production of Breathe Life into Bahamian Legacy, The Past Remains a New Generation with the Rhythm All Begins. Our intern Layla Sands has more in this report.
In any society, the thing that makes the society strong is its memory.
That memory takes center stage in Ghost of Gumbe, a cultural production Ramming says is far more than entertainment. It's a resurrection of voices long gone, the musicians, the storytellers, the rhythms that shaped Bahamian identity.
When you forget who you are, what you do is you start adopting other identities. And unfortunately, I believe we've been subject to that over the last little while.
Through music, movement, and performance, the production seeks to reconnect the next generation with the heartbeat of the past, preserving the essence of what makes us Bahamian.
As we move into the future, people who are today making music, they need a foundation on which to build.
Ghost of Goombay runs July 31st to August 2nd with a gala opening night. Tickets are available at Born Again Health Store, Stepping Out, and Bristol Cellar.
So that you can experience the memories of, hey, Bahamas, take a trip you must to the Review.
It's a celebration of legacy, a call to remember, a stage full of spirit. Layla Sands, Eyewitness News.
On this year's Father's Day, Eyewitness News takes a moment to celebrate the fine fathers of our team. There are storytellers, technical directors, cameramen, audio engineers, and production assistants. They've been with us since the beginning and continue to help steer our news team in the best possible direction. So on behalf of our news team, to all of our fathers and those fathers on the other side of the screen, happy Father's Day. And coming up in tonight's Sunday feature, we have some more exciting news out of Grand Bahama.
At Con Ed Bahamas, we are excited to share our latest arrival of mosaic tiles. We are currently offering an incredible 50% off on a wide selection of our mosaic tiles. Explore our extensive range of styles and colors to elevate your next project. Take advantage of this seasonal promotion and find the perfect fit for your space today. We are conveniently located in Grand Bahama, Nassau, Abaco, and Eleuthera. Con Ed Bahamas. Dream, design, deliver.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
Island Luck Sportsbook is taking you to the NBA playoffs. That's right. Every $20 bet placed between February 24th and April 1st earns you an entry to win an all-expense-paid trip to an NBA playoff game. Imagine being in the stands, feeling the energy, and watching your favorite team battle for a championship. The more you bet, the more chances you have to win. So don't miss out. Place your bets now at Island Luck Sportsbook and get ready for the experience of a lifetime. Weekly drawings every Tuesday at 3 p.m. starting March 4th. Visit islandluck.com/sports for more details. Who's ready to fly off to the NBA playoffs?
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Good evening and welcome back. The Grand Bahama Port Authority telling Eyewitness News that it remains optimistic about the future of Grand Bahama as the economy rebounds on a steady upswing, with a number of projects currently underway on the island. Government's recent signing of the heads of agreement for the sale of the Grand Lucaya Resort. Our Theo Seeley had a quick chat with the GBPA for its assessment on where the island is in terms of economic bounce back and how the wider public can be a part of those efforts. Here's that report.
P & Roy, a Bahamian brand of island chic men's, women's, and children's wear.
It's fresh,
It's innovative to the locals and to the tourists alike.
That's Sherry Bethel, store manager at P. & Roy's newest location in Port Lucaya, Grand Bahama. But its humble beginnings started many years ago in the capital.
P. & Roy started in Nassau, and it's a Bahamian brand, a Bahamian-owned brand. And so they decided to come to Freeport, Grand Bahama, and expand their business and give Grand Bahama a chance.
With a successful product offering in the capital sold exclusively at Bonneville Bones, the Bahamian brand, now 4 weeks in Port Lucaya, has been turning heads and garnering a lot of attention.
The ambience of the store, and when they look around and look at the brand, they see all the colors and they see the different designs. And it's very welcoming when you would come into P. & Roy.
A wide array of hats, shirts, bags, swimwear, accessories, you name it, the Bahamian brand has got it in eye-catching colors and designs specific to island life. And the fashion-forward boutique has taken a keen interest to ensure that the men weren't left out of the mix.
Then we didn't leave the men out. That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. And it's going so well when the men, they get to come in with their wives or, browse around.
And as they browse, Bethel says matching sets have become a hot seller.
Oh, the matching sets, I love that idea, especially when it comes to the tourists. They love that idea because I can say, okay, when the men come in, the women come in, they shop, and I say, we didn't leave you out. You can do, your matching sets. So they have blouses that they can match. They have dresses, like if you have a printed dress, and then you can also match it with a nice shirt and a pants.
With a second location now under its belt, Bethel says the plan is now to dominate the new landscape.
P. & Roy in Grand Bahama is going to be a statement store that whenever that you're looking for that special shirt, that special piece, something unique, something different, you will find it at P. & Roy's.
Now, some might think it's risky business to open a new business in Grand Bahama as its economy is currently working toward a rebound, but Bethel is not of that view.
It's very important for stores to come on, or any business right now, to be proactive, to come and to be in place. Because right now that is not stopping our guests from coming to the island. The guests that has been coming in here, it mostly like they come and they stay in resorts or Airbnbs that are available to them because they love Grand Bahama. So they have been coming in still.
Now, I've personally been wearing the brand for 3 years now, and I've yet to be disappointed in its variety and its flair. Reporting from Grand Bahama Island, I'm Theo Seeley, Eyewitness News.
That does it for us here at the weekend edition. From all of us here at Eyewitness News, I'm Lauren.